Well, back in our New York studios, along with Chris Collinsworth, Sam Weish, and Joe Gibbs, and just 2 weeks remain in the NFL's regular season. Let's take a look at the playoff picture. Beginning in the AFC, Denver, Pittsburgh, and New England began the day as division leaders, but only Denver has an outright lead. This situation, Joe Gibbs, is extremely fluid.
Let's talk about who's going to the Super Bowl, home field advantage. And the fact that Denver and Kansas City both are undefeated this year at home. They both have bitter experiences in the playoff when they had home field the last 2 years. I think if whoever gets this, I don't think that's going to happen to them again. So I think you got to say, though, Kansas City, with that schedule, probably has the upper hand.
But don't you think that Denver's the better team? I mean, if you just get one team on a neutral field, that Denver's the best team, but I'm not so sure that they're going to get the home field. Looks to me like Kansas City ultimately will have that.
Neutral field doesn't happen until the Super Bowl.
That's right.
And I had to agree with him.
Now, one very key game is next Saturday. Pittsburgh visits New England. A special day and time, 3:30 Eastern time for the NFL on NBC. Kickoff just after 4 o'clock Eastern time. And this game, Chris, is going to be very important.
Yeah, it sure is. And I think especially for Pittsburgh, who certainly are going to have their hands full all day today with the Denver Broncos, and then to have to go to New England and finish up on the road at Tennessee. Don't forget, Pittsburgh's made their mark now with a lot of home games early in the season, so a big challenge for them next week on Saturday.
There's a team we haven't mentioned that Sam says keep an eye on.
Keep an eye on the Miami Dolphins. Now, this is a team that nobody's talking about a lot because they haven't been at the top of the division all the way through, but they play the New England Patriots the last game of the season in Miami. That could decide who wins the AFC East.
All right, now let's talk about the NFC playoff picture. San Francisco is on top, but we saw last week they are vulnerable. Green Bay leads the Central, where 4 teams might emerge with playoff berths. In the NFC East, it's possible that for the first time since the merger, the NFC East champ won't have 10 or more wins. We were talking about that NFC East. You still think the champion might be Dallas?
Well, I think the best team is still the Dallas Cowboys. That doesn't mean that they're going to win the championship, but when you look at the NFC as a whole, again, I still think the best team, the Green Bay Packers. But if they have to go to San Francisco and try and win a playoff game out there, I'm not sure the best team is going to end up in the Super Bowl.
And, Joe, once again, we get back to what you were talking about, home field advantage, whether it's in Green Bay, whether it's in San Francisco. That's the most significant aspect here.
If it's Green Bay, I don't think anybody beats Green Bay. I think the question is, could Green Bay, just like Chris says, can they go out and play the 49ers? I talked about our tough experiences there, the Redskins. We couldn't do it. I think this team, though, Green Bay would have a good chance of doing it.
You know what the problem Green Bay has is the rest of this season, right? They're so beat up. Even if they win this ball game or lose this ball game, rather, to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, they're still in first place, but they're so beat up. I tell you, they go into these playoffs in the worst kind of way.
All right, guys, we'll take time out. Our NFL and NBC halftime activities continue. Delivering our own smiles, Greg Gumbel, along with Chris Collinsworth, Sam Weish, and Joe Gibbs. Here are the scores and highlights as we have them for you right now. We'll begin with the game in Kansas City, where the Chiefs have rolled up a 20-0 lead on the Oakland Raiders. Kansas City can clinch a playoff spot with a win today. 3-0 Chiefs in the first. Raiders guilty of poor tackling. Donnell Bennett bounces off count of 1, 2, 3 different defenders. 9-yard touchdown. Chiefs up 10-0. They were up by 13 in the second when Rich Gannon, play action, rolls to his right, can't find an open receiver. Doesn't matter. Takes it in from 5 yards out. Chiefs go up by a score of 20-0. Chiefs ran roughshod over the 49ers last week. Could have fallen flat. They haven't.
They certainly did not. And Rich Gannon has been simply sensational in this ballgame. Marty Schottenheimer on the pregame show said that Elvis Grbac would be his quarterback as soon as he came back and healthy. But I don't think you can take the football away from Rich Gannon. He is doing things with this offense that Elvis never did.
All right, the game that you folks are watching in Three River Stadium in Pittsburgh, the Chiefs and the Denver Broncos are tied at 21 apiece. And this game has gone back and forth, and what an aerial show put on by both John Elway and by Cordell Stewart. The Broncos, one of only 9 teams with a winning record at Three River Stadium. After a Pittsburgh turnover, Elway strikes first. Down the sideline, he beats Donnell Wolford. Rod Smith does. 37 yards and a touchdown, 7-0 Denver. Cordell Stewart comes back, perfectly thrown to Yancey Thigpen, and Thigpen does a little dipsy-doodle on the sideline. He eludes all kinds of guys in white uniforms and goes 33 yards for a touchdown to tie the game at 7. 14-7 Denver in the second. Elway again, Rod Smith again. 25 yards, touchdown. 21-7 Denver. Pittsburgh done, not by a long shot. Cordell Stewart, Yancey Thigpen, 69 yards. Darian Gordon stops because of the flag, but guess what? It was against the defense. 21-14 Broncos, and then Thigpen caps a big first half. catches his third touchdown pass, a 20-yarder from Cordell Stewart, and they are tied at 21 apiece. This is a fun game to watch,
It's
Joe.
a fun game to watch. When I was coaching with the Redskins, we had a signal if we wanted the quarterback to look at a particular person on a pass. In this case, I'd be going, look at, okay, Fig Pen. That's all I'd tell Cordell. Hey, just keep throwing to him. We're going to be okay. We had a discussion here, though, when we were talking about an easy time that Elway was having with the secondary of Pittsburgh, and I think what's happened, we're trying to analyze it. I think they have had so many losses to free agency. Here we see Hoying and Plummer's numbers the last 2 weeks, and now Elway doing a great job in the first half. I think what's really happened to Pittsburgh, we talk about Cowher doing a great job of replacing people, but they've lost a lot of people, and particularly at corner. You got Willie Williams, Rod Woodson, their pass rushers, Greg Lloyd, and Kevin Green, and so they've taken some big losses on the defense. But I think right now Pittsburgh's bounced back. Great game. I'm excited. Give me some popcorn and watch the second half of this.
You know, and I thought Cordell Stewart was supposed to be a second-half quarterback. If he is, they might score 100 here in this ball game. But what is really impressive, Greg, about this one is the fact that he is doing this, Cordell Stewart is, against the #1 ranked pass defense in the AFC. This isn't some fluke out there. This kid is really coming of age right now.
What do you want to bet the Denver defensive coaches are going, look at Fig Pen?
That's right.
In the Battle of the Bays in Tampa, the Green Bay Packers hold a 1-point lead on the Bucks. That game is now early in the second half. Sam?
This one, I knew it would be a defensive battle. Both of them have good defenses, but turnovers have led to all the scores. Brett Favre really trying to win this thing by himself, a lot of scrambling. I thought he'd get banged up, but it was Trent Dilfer who twisted an ankle, but came back in the second half and is playing.
Interesting game in Jacksonville. The New England Patriots came out on fire against the Jaguars and lead at 20-7 early in the second half. The Jags looking for a 14th straight win at home and a playoff berth. 3-0 Pats in the first. Mark Brunell back to throw, blindsided by Steve Israel. Willie McGinnis recovers the fumble for the Pats at the Jaguar 48. And that led to this. Bledsoe to Troy Brown, 9-yard touchdown. 10-0 Patriots in the end zone. Troy Brown says, here you go, kid, go sell that for some good money. Jaguars get on the board in the second half. Just before the half, 20 yards, Brunell to Keenan McCardell, 13-7, but Bledsoe drives the Pats 78 yards. He goes 5 yards to Ben Coates with 3 seconds remaining. 20-7 is the score now as they play the second half. In Philadelphia, Giants taking advantage of Eagle turnovers, 3 of them to be exact, 21-7, New York in the lead. In Chicago, at Soldier Field, the Bears with a 17-3 lead on the Buffalo Bills. In Baltimore, the Seahawks and the Ravens in a shootout at 17-17 early in the second half. And in New Orleans, the Rams and the Saints are tied at 13 at halftime. We'll send you back to Pittsburgh for the second half right after this message from the National Football League.
One more half, baby. One more half. It ain't over yet.
Cordell Stewart as he left the field at halftime, and here are the results of that first half. And Stewart, one of the shining stars for the Steelers, as it's tied at 21 with a 232-yard passing half. As we look at our Coors Light halftime statistics, that's less than 100 yards off his career high. Threw for 317 against Jacksonville earlier this year. It's interesting, these two teams have been terrific when they lead at halftime. The Steelers have won every game when they're ahead at halftime this year, and Denver's on a run of 18-0 when they're ahead at halftime, so it's only appropriate that they're tied at 21. We'll see.
Well, one thing to have it, Pittsburgh plays extremely well here. Even the coaches told us that the last time they were here. They play well at home. And Elway said himself, we got to either win on the road now or we're going to be on the road through the playoffs.
When I look at the game in the first half, Denver, I'm interested. What are they going to do? They've got to change on defense because they're playing. Cordell's going to have to beat his throwing. That is no good. We've got to change now.
Yeah, Stewart has shown that he's going to find the open receivers, and they have been wide open. And Broncos get the ball to open the second half. Vaughn Hebron, a short kickoff at the 15. And Hebron twists out to the 30-yard line. Let's go to Jim Gray.
All right, Dick. Well, I talked to Bill Cowher, and he said, guys, very proud of the way we held together and stuck together. He told them as they left the locker room, we must find a way. We will find a way. If you have the desire, we will get this done. They're going to continue to throw the ball to Yancey Thigpen. Now, I talked to Mike Shanahan, very disappointed in his defensive backfield. He said that Darian Gordon will stay in the game. He's going to be challenged. We expect him to be challenged, and he's going to come up big. We're sticking with him. Dick?
All right, Jim. First down, Denver. Starts the second half from the 30-yard line. Elway to the sideline. Whoa! Dangerously close to being intercepted by Chad Scott.
That thing never came out right. When it came out of his hand, I don't know whether it was hit, but that ball just never got there.
It had to get tipped to the line of scrimmage for John Elway. Single coverage outside to throw it that far behind the receiver.
All right, look at it here. When this thing comes out, it just looks like it.
Well, I know why now. People at his feet, it made him jump just a little, and he twirled it with his finger, threw it inside.
Down the middle, incomplete. Shannon Sharp, closest white jersey, and Sharp, who started today as the leading receiver for Elway with 58 catches, has not caught a ball yet. There are the comparisons, the two quarterbacks in the first half, with Stewart out throwing Elway. And receiver Shannon Sharp with blanks. Yancey Thigpen, the leader for the Steelers, 4 catches, 3 touchdowns.
He's only averaging 38.5 a catch.
Tight end Sharp lines up. Elway fires, complete. And Sharp has his first catch, and it's good for a first down out at the 46-yard line. 16 on the play.
Isn't it amazing how when Dick Enberg talks about a guy, he ends up making a play? Here comes Shannon Sharp. You're not going to stay blank long. It's a nice move that he makes, Phil, that he just slide into the open spot.
That's the point, Paul. He slid into the open spot. Elway has a strong enough arm to throw it in there before the defense can react.
He's closing in on a 1,000-yard season as well with 2 to play. They go to San Francisco next week and finish the season at home against San Diego. Terrell Davis drawing a crowd. Plugs for a yard or so. Earl Holmes and others in on the tackle.
I heard we were talking about what an advantage it is for Pittsburgh to play here, how good they play. And I remember when Jacksonville came in here a few weeks ago, they said the same thing. The Steelers are a different team when they play here on both sides of the ball, their offense and especially the defense.
After this play, what causes that? Why, if they're a good football team, why can't they take it on the road?
Noise helps the defense to pass rush. They feel good. Familiar setting.
2nd and 9 for Elway. Fires complete, and that's a tough catch. As a crowd of 3 around Willie Green, and the veteran pulls in the ball for a gain of about 10. It's going to be close to a first down. Myron Bell and Carnell Lake were there in the tackle.
Well, I don't know whether to say this is a tough catch, a great throw, or kind of because he's well covered, and Elway just throws a rocket in there, and Green does a good job. Defenders on him. Myron Bell on one side, Carnell Lake on the other, hangs on to the football.
Good enough for the first down. Davis on the draw. And he earns a tough 2 or maybe 3. Joel Steed, 93. Earl Holmes, 50, make the tackle. Steed on the nose. He and Ted Washington up at Buffalo are going to really be battling it out for a Pro Bowl bid. Steed has never made the Pro Bowl. Many feel this is his year, that he's been brilliant inside.
Well, they say the one thing about Steed and also Kirkland and Holmes, those 3 guys form a triangle in the middle of that defense, and they do a lot of stunts in a lot of games, and the guys up front say he's the best.
They don't get stats, though, those nose tackles.
They're there to protect the linebackers, so the linemen like Joel Steed.
Elway out of the backfield to Griffith, and the fullback tucks it away and battles to the 28-yard line. That's going to be close to a first down. Carnell Lake, the tackler.
Phil, it's really surprising. They don't throw the ball more to Howard Griffith, because every time that he goes into motion, nobody really stays with him.
Well, they don't feed him very often. They figure that's just a place at the table that never gets served.
Well, what happens is, Paul, every time he really goes in motion, you're just seeing the Steeler defense in a zone, so it looks like nobody's going with him, because when you're in a zone defense, when people move, you just kind of stand there and you react, and you wait for them to come to you.
Good enough for the first down. So Elway with his 3rd first down on this trip to move the ball to the Pittsburgh 33, tied at 21, just underway in the second half.
You know, you talked about the run defense of the Steelers. Joel Steed, Earl Holmes, Levon Kirkland inside. They're so good inside, it makes teams then start trying to go outside, and we have a fast defense. You know, that's why the Steelers win a lot of those battles.
Fake to Davis, the throw to Griffith again. And he's hit immediately at the 30-yard line by Chad Scott, the young cornerback, #1 pick out of Maryland.
You know, when I saw this play, I thought about Cordell Stewart when he ran a bootleg a little while ago in the first half. When he ran out there was nobody out there. Elway didn't have to throw the ball this soon. I mean, he had all day. Everybody was blocked to the inside. Elway got outside, and I think released it a little bit too soon. He could have waited.
Cordell Stewart trying to feed off that terrific first half, being chilled on the sidelines by this significant drive engineered by Elway to open the second half. 2nd and 7. Davis following Griffith is to the 25-yard line. 5 more yards for Terrell Davis. Holmes another tackle, and running up the total now for Terrell Davis, the league's leading rusher, 56 yards today on 15 carries.
Well, this is one of the first drives I think we've seen, Phil, where they're running some time off the clock. Usually they're banger in the end zone, the other guys get the ball back.
Showed you earlier that Elway has moved into a tie with Warren Moon for 4th place all-time touchdown passes. Warren Moon has just connected for Seattle to move one ahead of Elway. Davis again, big hole. Boy, does he run hard, and a first down at the 20-yard line. He's a defiant ball carrier.
Yeah, but Levon Kirkland, he's a defiant linebacker. That's what I'll tell you, Terrell Davis, when he makes the jump. Watch C99 in that picture. Watch what 99 does. Come on, Terrell. Come on, Terrell. Get over here. Watch this. Wham!
Well, he's making up for that block that Terrell put on him in the first half. But it's a first down on the 5 yards by Davis at the 20. And this drive already consuming over 5 minutes. Elway a pump and the throw and a man open, incomplete to Rod Smith. And Smith trying to duplicate Yancey Thigpen with 3 touchdown catches in the game.
The Denver Broncos, they are doing a lot of double moves on the outside. Rod Smith, the stop and go. This is a perfect throw. Back shoulder. Rod Smith adjusts, takes his head off his eyes off the balls at the last second. Look at him.
Hits him in the shoulder.
Hits him in the shoulder.
But you know, watch Chad Scott. Remember we talked before, watch him. He only reacts when the receiver reacts. So Scott puts his arm up as the ball gets there. That's the way to play defense.
They're working on Scott, his Elway, while Cordell Stewart picking on Darian Gordon. Davis runs into a crowd. Dante Jones leads the charge along with Kevin Henry.
Yeah, Terrell Davis going in the hole. Tony Jones pulling around the right tackle. Watch the right tackle pull around Tony Jones. Terrell gets a little impatient. Get out of the way, big man. And Tony just clears a big hole for about 5-yard gain.
Well, he pushed Tony through the hole.
They spotted at the 17, so it's 3rd down and 7. Six-minute drive. Elway sends Davis way out to the right this time and brings him in motion to the inside. Fakes to him. Throws incomplete to Griffith. Covered well by the Steelers, and Nolan Harrison was the man that shot through to hurry Elway's throw.
Nolan Harrison did not worry about any kind of fakes or anything Elway's going to do. Look at 74. I've got Elway. You come outside, I'll make you throw the ball. He does. They drop it.
Now on comes Jason Elam to try the field goal. It'll be about 35 yards. Looks as if they'll set it right at the 35. Elam, who has been deadly from inside the 40 in his career, 93 out of 100 inside the 40. And the Broncos take the lead. 35-yard field goal. Jason Elam, 24-21. Monongahela and the Allegheny working hard to form the Ohio again today here in the city of Pittsburgh. As we remind you tonight, it's bloopers first at 7, then a new time, Dateline, special time of 8, 7 Central, and then the movie Terminal Velocity, Charlie Sheen and Natasha Kinski, all on NBC this evening. But Dateline, a new time on this Sunday at 8 o'clock.
Are you on bloopers, Paul? You should be. I mean, it
He can have his own show.
Yeah, it would just kind of like it just goes together. Paul McGuire and bloopers.
I'll do that.
All right.
24-21 as Denver strikes first in the second half. Down it comes Andre Coleman. Coleman reverses his field, leaves his blockers, and makes it to the 23-yard line. 24-21, Denver leads here in Pittsburgh. We'll be right back. And welcome back to Three Rivers. The Steelers finally get their mitts on the ball after that 6-minute, 6-second drive by Elway, and Broncos leading to a 35-yard field goal by Jason Elam. Cordell Stewart sets up at his own 22. Johnson in motion. And Jerome Bettis off tackle, breaking tackles out to the 29-yard line. Tim Lester, the fullback, leading the way. And the value of Lester, the fullback from Eastern Kentucky. He was a teammate of Bettis with the Rams. Look at it, 34, blocks Atwater. 34, off Mobley. 34, Lester seals against Mobley. No wonder Bettis took him to the Pro Bowl when he made it in 1994.
He should. Any good running back, though, in the NFL, almost always, except maybe for Barry Sanders, has a good lead blocker in front of him from the fullback position.
Stewart wide open as Thigpen. First down at the 44. Gordon and Atwater make the tackle, and they continue to go to Gordon's side of the field. For those of you who have not been with us, first half, Yancey Thigpen, a career game in 30 minutes. 3 touchdown catches from Cordell Stewart. 33, 69, and 20 yards for Thigpen.
Now, the one thing that people didn't see that just joined us is the moves that this guy has made. He has really gotten himself open.
Thigpen from Winston-Salem State. Bettis ad-libs his way and powers out for a couple, makes at least 3 yards before Crockett and Gordon can make the tackle.
Neo Smith, number 90, came over here from Kansas City. He's had a pretty good first half. He's on Jason Strozak, went to make a move and fell down. That's the old fall down move.
Jerome Bettis now with 61 yards and Terrell Davis 64 yards. So their little individual rushing battle separated by only 3. Stewart, 2nd and 7. Slips as he throws, and it's incomplete. Intended for Charles Johnson. Darian Gordon diving in to defend.
Phil, you can describe his throwing motion, but back there between the 45 and the 35-yard line, there's a piece back there that he slips on. Watch his leg go out.
His front foot, Paul, good observation. His foot slips, and what that does when your foot slides out from under when you're a thrower, it makes your arm actually speed up. That's one of the reasons why the ball went down outside.
Now 3rd down and 7 for Pittsburgh.
That little space out there, that's where second base is, and that's a different part of the field, a different part of rug.
I always hated this field for all those infield spots.
Out of the shotgun, Stewart. Whoa! Shooting through and a fumble and a flag down. There may have been a face mask on the play as the Broncos come with Tim McKyer, the veteran corner. But did he get a piece of Stewart's face mask in making the tackle?
They are calling a face mask on McKyer. But now the referee is back in back. They're calling it face mask. McKyer, I mean, that was terrific what he did. When he saw Cordell Stewart getting his arm back, he jumped straight up in the air right at him. But the problem was when he came down, he caught his face mask.
We have a face mask, 5 yards on the defense. Repeat 3rd down.
So you lose the sack. They mark that off from the line of scrimmage.
Well, watch Tim McKyer. Good scheme. Everybody occupied inside. He comes free. He has to jump because he's afraid Cordell's going to throw it. And you can see. Gets his right hand on the face mask.
I'll tell you, when you turn the helmet like that, Dick, as soon as you turn the guy's head, that's usually a 15-yard penalty. That determines it. That time he caught him. Cordell turned just a little bit and he let go.
So it'll be 3rd down and 7 for the Steelers as the design defensively for Denver works.
Well, it was a good changeup. Didn't see it in the first half. Caught the Steelers by surprise. The penalty stopped the big play for him.
Stewart over the middle. Followed by the Broncos and right into the arms of Will Blackwell. First down at the Bronco 42, a 13-yard play.
Well, when your passing game is hot, sometimes you got to get away with a few breaks. The ball is tipped. Glenn Cadrez tips it. Will Blackwell stays with it.
What a concentration by Blackwell.
It is. Oh, one hand behind him. I talked about Denver, 2 change-ups already in the second half. They blitzed, hadn't seen that one, and that time they played a real soft zone behind all the receivers, trying not to give up those big plays.
First down at the 40. Stewart caught by the tight end Bruner, breaks a tackle, gets a couple more. His first reception of the game down to the 33-yard line. Aldridge and Atwater make the stop.
The one thing I'm seeing Cordell Stewart do today that we didn't see in the past games that he played in. Now, even though Yancey Thigpen has 3 touchdowns, but he is spreading the ball all over the field. He's finding other targets than primary targets.
Well, when they were singled outside, Paul, when they were single covered receivers, he's throwing to them. Now they're doubling the outside the 2 wide receivers. You got to look inside.
Warner only 13 catches, but highly praised for his blocking. And he tries to seal on Lucille to the inside and does for Bettis, and Bettis denying tacklers to the 14.
You know, we talk about the blocking of Tim Lester, and there's a reason for it. I mean, the guy gets out in front of Jerome Bettis. Jerome Bettis loves to follow this guy. There's excellent blocking along the line of scrimmage. Here comes Lester. You see the kick-out block he makes right there. That opens a hole for Bettis. And when Tim Lester came in yesterday, the nicest guy you ever want to see, but when he blocks, and oh, he's right there. He just knocks him out of the hole. He get good block. Tim Lester just does a terrific job. And really, Dick, talking to him yesterday, Tim Lester said to us, you know, I don't care about carrying the ball. I only carry it 2 times.
Boy, he's a tremendous lead blocker for Bettis. First down as Stewart looks, fires, complete to Johnson. Out of bounds at the 11-yard line. Ray Crockett, the defender. Johnson, who missed 3 games midseason with a knee injury, now back in full form. The #1 pick 3 years ago by the Steelers from Colorado. Bill Cowher said he's really watched his language since he had some problems earlier in the year. He said he was embarrassed. He apologized. And he said the worst part was when I got home, my wife, Kay, said she had to explain to my family what I said, or at least my lips were being read to say on national television. He said, I have no excuse for that, and I tend to be an example, and I'm not going to do that anymore. More power to him.
And that's tough to do. It tells you a lot about Bill Cowher. He has to think about it, because, Dick, we know in these games everything is so spontaneous, so emotional. For him to watch his language, which he has, I give him a lot of credit. And it's such a very good example for the young kids watching the game.
Justin Strelzik leaves with an injury, and Jim Sweeney, the veteran center, has been moved out to tackle.
Dick, I don't know what happened, because when they broke the huddle, Strelzik went up to the line of scrimmage and he started limping. He brought himself out of the ball game.
Have to hurry now. Play clock down to 4. Bettis breaks some tackles at the line of scrimmage. No gain turns into 6 yards, and Braxton saves the touchdown.
You know, go ahead.
But what happens, really, Paul, it's a good job of the defensive line of the Broncos. They're going to get up. They stop the rush by the offensive lineman, but nobody can get free to get their arms around Bettis. He has the speed for a big man to kick it outside.
And one thing that Bettis does on this play, though, he's so patient on the play. What he does, he goes up in. Keith Traylor is going off to the sidelines, but Bettis goes up into the pile. He sees there's really no place to go. So almost like he pauses for a second or so to wait to see if something on the outside, and then just slides.
It's a first down just inside the 4, as Bettis is total now up to 87 yards, 36 on this drive for number 36. 24-21, Denver's tenuous lead as the Steelers trying to drive it in for the go-ahead score.
This is an impressive drive.
Draw, quarterback, Stewart, touchdown! Young Cordell Stewart, in his 3rd year, no longer Slash. He is the man, as he wants to be called, the man, the quarterback. 3 touchdown passes and now a touchdown run to give the Steelers their first lead of the game.
Well, he is the man. It's not even fair once you get inside the 5-yard line to defend the Steeler offense, but knowing Cordell can keep the ball too.
Norm Johnson has the extra point, and Pittsburgh leads 28-24. You're watching the NFL on NBC.
Cordell Stewart, what he basically does here, he scores on a fancy quarterback sneak. This is really getting separation from the offensive line, the quarterback. He lets everybody commit, then he shoots through the little hole for the touchdown.
And the 28-24 lead. Each team has scored with their single possession of this third quarter. Broncos having to settle for the 35-yard field goal by Elam. Kickoff down to Hebron at the 6. And Hebron to the 29-yard line. Lethan Flowers securing the tackle. John Elway warms up. His turn next when we return to Three Rivers. Back in Pittsburgh, a reminder, the NFL season extends to the World Wide Web on NFL.com, the league's official website. Visit NFL.com for all the scores and statistics, including a complete roundup of this weekend's scores and action. All at NFL.com. Working on Neil Smith's elbow. He's had a triceps injury. Away from his 29. Look at the time. Fires now for Smith on the deflection, picks it off, and Rod Smith, who has 2 touchdowns, is all the way to the 31-yard line. He fumbled out of bounds. Carnell Lake finally got him off the field of play. 41 yards on the play. Elway given much too much time.
Well, it's a good job of the offensive line. That's where it starts, but also excellent job with the quarterback, John Elway. Buys extra time, moves around, resets, finally makes the throw down the field. Dante Jones tips it. Elway had to be upset. Should have got it over the linebacker's head to begin with.
How about this? We've seen 2 tip passes today by linebackers that have ended up in long gains.
First down just outside the 30. Rod Smith in motion. Reverse.
Trouble.
Didn't come close to working. Rod Smith runs into Gilden, Jason Gilden.
Let me explain something about this. Don't try to run some trick stuff against the Pittsburgh Steelers, because these guys are a disciplined defense. They stay at home. Justin Gilden up on the top. Watch this. He stays there. He just waits. Jason Gilden never moves.
And if he wasn't going to get him, there were about 3 others that would have.
We saw earlier they tried to play action fake one way. Jason Gilden was right there in the line of the pass. So what makes you think he's going to chase the run any farther on the reverse? He's waiting, doing a good job of staying disciplined.
Jim Haslett's defense with a 9-yard loss on first down. Elway underneath, incomplete. The ball was there, but Shannon Sharp couldn't tuck it away. Chris Oldham, the nearest defender, but Shannon Sharp will catch 9 out of 10 of these.
I'll tell you one thing about Elway. Like in the first half we saw, take a look at this pass. That hits him right in the stomach and never gets his arms around it. Elway knows. I mean, we're not blowing smoke at Elway all the time, but the thing about this, when he throws the ball and you don't catch it, he puts it you where you should be able to catch the football.
Well, those are 6 passes today that Elway thought should have been caught. 3rd and 19. Trying to get in field goal range, Elway. Intercepted, a diving interception by Myron Bell. Bell, who played at Michigan State playing safety, the starter with Lake moving outside, has his first interception of the season.
Myron Bell is doing an excellent job of covering Shannon Sharp today. We've seen 3 times he's cut underneath him trying to make the play. This time Elway in trouble. He makes the break, gets the interception.
First interception by Elway in 191 passes.
Welcome back to Pittsburgh. Well, after that last play, John Elway came over to Willie Green, screamed something at him. He was very, very unhappy with him, and Green screamed right back. By the way, Justin Strelzik pulled left calf. He's out of the game. Dick?
All right, Jim, thank you. Elway's streak of 190 in a row without intercepted broken.
No.
Stewart, throwback screen, and it's dropped by John Whitman, the fullback from Penn State. Seemed to be fairly well covered by the Bronco defense.
Well, we saw it earlier. Pittsburgh's defense did a good job in reverse. This is almost the same thing, but with the passing game, you kind of call this the old shoot screen. You get everybody running one way and you throw it all the way across the field. And
the only problem is everybody was standing around. This play took about 48 minutes to develop. You don't have that much time to run a screen, Dick.
Myron Bell celebrating his first interception of the year. Final minute, third quarter. Stopping the Denver drive. Pittsburgh leads 28-24. Give it to Bettis. All the way to the 41-yard line. 23 more for Bettis as he moves over the 100-yard mark.
I think this is a good example of a quick defense that's starting to slow down, and a big, powerful offense that's not getting any smaller.
Well, Damani Dawson told us yesterday, Phil, in the center for the Pittsburgh Steelers, if we can get a hat on a hat and put one guy on a guy, all we have to do is get him through the hole, and he's moving.
End of 3. Pittsburgh leads by 4. We'll be back after these messages from your local. The December scene in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Light snow, 28-24 Steelers. First down as we open the fourth quarter. Cordell Stewart off play action. Hit. Throws incomplete. Neil Smith was the man pressuring Cordell Stewart. Let's go to Greg Gumbel in New York.
All right, Dick, in Kansas City, the Chiefs are rolling it up against the Raiders. Rich Gannon rolls, stops, comes back this way. This is a 2-yard touchdown pass to Tony Richardson to boost the Chiefs to a 30-0 lead. Dick, over the last 2 weeks, the Chiefs have outscored Bay Area teams 74-9, and there's still 5 minutes and change remaining in Kansas City.
All right, Greg, and they don't allow any scores in the second half. The Chiefs have won how many games? Like 7, 8 games without allowing a touchdown to the opposition in the second half. Jerome Bettis, now there's the key, unable to turn running north-south, still running laterally. Then he's a different target as Keith Traylor makes the stop.
Well, that's what they talk about, Jerome Bettis. If you can get him going left and right, now you have a shot at him because he's not at full power. But when Jerome Bettis finally hits the hole and his shoulders are square with the field, man, look out. Because when you take a look at it, after the hit, look at the yards he gets.
Yeah, you don't want that bus to get in full gear going straight ahead, do you? Want to keep making those little soft swings.
Yeah, we'll keep him in the parking lot.
That's it. Not many bus stops here for the Denver Broncos. That was one. 3rd and 13. Stewart, plenty of time. Complete to George Jones. And George Jones brought down by Tyrone Braxton, the veteran safety, shy of the first down at the 36. It's 4th and 6.
I think you're in the area of the field where you almost have to go for it. That was a good job of the Steeler offense. Cordell Stewart pick it up a few yards. Now you give your team a chance to go for it on 4th down.
And they are going to do exactly what you said. They're going to go for it.
Well, because a missed field goal, the spot would be out about the 43, 42-yard line, would give Denver much too good a field position. You might as well, you're going to fail, and you might as well fail from right where the ball is spotted down.
And Paul, you know how we know how you punters are. What happens? You get it on the 36, and most of the time you punt it in the end zone anyway.
And they ran out of time, so Stewart had to use a timeout. He started to set the line. It was already at 1. 28-24 Steelers. Welcome back to Three Rivers. It's a 4th down and short 6 for the Steelers, who are going to go for it just outside the Bronco 35-yard line with a 4-point lead.
Spent a lot of time in the huddle on this play. Usually when they do that, it's a pass play, but
4 wide receivers with Stewart alone in the backfield. 5 wides. Here come the Broncos. The shovel pass, and it's going to work. Courtney Hawkins, first down at the Broncos 16-yard line.
You know why this worked? Cordell Stewart made it work because he waited for Hawkins to clear.
Bill Cowher loved it, a 20-yard gain.
He's out past the numbers. His lips go. No, I won't say that. He's got that thing going out. He gets excited.
Someone gets real close, they're going to knock his chin up. Watch Cordell Stewart here, Phil. Watch him wait. He waits. He draws Atwater up, and once he gets Atwater beyond, Courtney Hawkins is wide open. It is all Cordell Stewart.
That's a great call. Stewart to the sidelines, complete to Yancey Thigpen inside the 10, twisted down. Darian Gordon and John Mobley.
Watch what the Steelers do on that last play, Paul. The shovel pass. Cordell's coming this way. Steve Atwater, once he comes up the field, Blackwell goes underneath him. The way you have to defend that play is Steve Atwater's got to stay back and play in between because Cordell's going nowhere. But of course,
many quarterbacks running the option play in pro football.
That's true. That's right.
Over 300 yards passing now for Cordell Stewart. Second down. Bettis picking a hole and battling to the 6. That'll be close to a first down. Aldridge and Mobley, the linebackers, able to drag down the 243-pound Bettis.
Let me ask you a question. You know, when you see this option play that Cordell just ran,
right.
You're playing this team. How many times would you really work against this play?
Denver probably did not work against it once the whole week because I don't think the Steelers have run it since the Jacksonville game, and usually only scout 4 games back, and that's been 5 games ago
That was the play in which Bettis scored in overtime to beat Jacksonville.
They ran it twice against Jacksonville, and it worked big both times.
Well, Mike Shanahan's team denied on the interception by Byron Bell, and now the drive engineered by Stewart that has brought third down and less than a yard at the 6.
My contention is Chan Gailey, the offensive coordinator for Steelers, does a good job of always having a couple new wrinkles each week, but why don't more teams run their quarterback on special sneaks? You don't have to be a runner to do that. You don't have to be a running quarterback to do the shovel pass.
You better have a good line, though.
Well, that helps. That's right. But you can help your offensive line out with these type of plays.
Third and less than a yard. Stewart easily picks up the first down inside the 5.
Now, how often do we talk about the quarterback sneak? Take your time as the quarterback. Chan Gailey, the offensive coordinator, says Cordell Stewart is the best sneaker he's ever seen in professional football. And you think, well, that's kind of funny, but really, there's a little art to this. Being patient. Of course, he's athletic, really helps, but does a good job of letting the block set up.
The first time he ran a quarterback sneak, Phil, he kind of waited and went out to the outside. This time he just took a sidestep and just went down underneath all of his linemen. Perfect.
This drive starting after the Bell interception. Now the 10th play, first and goal. Stewart to the end zone to Thigpen, almost intercepted by Gordon, and he did intercept. As they struggled in the end zone, Gordon had the leverage on the roll and comes up with a critical pick.
I'll tell you, this was dual reception at one time. And if Yancey Thigpen is strong enough to hold on to it, he can take it away from Gordon. And if they come down simultaneously, it goes to the offensive player. Here it is with Gordon and Thigpen. Look at, they both have the ball. Right here they both have it. Then Gordon pulls away, rolls over, and has the ball in his hand.
His 4th interception of the season, and does that ever deny Pittsburgh a big score that could have put them 11 points in the lead, and now it's the Denver sidelines that celebrates. The Broncos back with the ball.
Domino's Pizza, delivering 1 million smiles a day. Call for pizza now and share a smile during the game.
Welcome back on the touchback. Elway starts at the 20, trailing by only 4. Terrell Davis, quiet here in the second half, gains 3 into the arms of LaVon Kirkland. Well, it's been highs and lows for cornerback Darian Gordon. Here against Yancey Thigpen, the flag flies. He quits, and Thigpen goes 69 yards for a touchdown. One of his 3, and then Cordell Stewart trying to give Thigpen 4 touchdowns, pass a little short, and Gordon out battles the receiver for the interception. Big play. Second down, Elway. Steps up and throws, incomplete, intended for Rod Smith. Myron Bell covering. Let's take a look at other scores. Kansas City rolling against the Raiders. That game almost over already, the 2-minute mark in the fourth. The Bays, Green, and Tampa, and the Packers in the lead. New England tied for first. Jacksonville tied for first in their respective divisions. Patriots will see them next Saturday. The Giants continue.
Jinx.
Boy, that's a great job by Jim Fossil. He'll get a lot of votes for Coach of the Year. Chicago trying to upset Buffalo. Seattle and Baltimore tied. Here, 28-24. Third down, Elway. Lots of time to the sidelines, complete. First down to Willie Green. Just stationed himself, a statue on the sidelines, and Elway guns him a 13-yard pass.
To throw a ball like this in the National Football League, it takes a lot of time. But watch the blitz coming inside. Here it comes. Darren Perry coming late. Look at the pickup. Shannon Sharp in the backfield does a good job. And Green going down the field, fakes like he's going long. He stops. Elway with a strong arm gets the ball before Fuller can make the adjustment.
He might have yelled at Green, but he also went back to him.
At the 37, Terrell Davis on the toss. Earns a hard yard into the arms of Joel Steed. Let's go to Greg Gumbel.
All right, Dick, for Pittsburgh fans, the news is still pretty good out of Jacksonville. Mark Brunell, second time today, a touchdown pass to Keenan McCardle. This one good for 12 yards, but they go for 2 to try to pull to within 8. The pass to Willie Jackson falls harmlessly to the turf. It's a 23-13 lead for the Patriots. Just over 5.5 to play in regulation, Dick.
You know, you've never said that. Harmlessly to the turf.
Gonna borrow it, though. Everything's free.
Yeah, that's right.
Elway on 2nd and 9. Hit from behind as he throws incomplete. Howard Griffith was in the area. Dante Jones, it appeared, got in behind Elway.
Well, they're coming on another blitz. Dante Jones, number 54, keeps working. It's a good job because Howard Griffith is out in the flat. Nobody covered him coming out of the backfield.
Boy, I tell you, Howard Griffith, if he catches the ball, he picks up 30 yards because there is absolutely nobody out there. Elway did not have time to throw.
Elway harassed, but not heavily by this pressing defense in Pittsburgh. Third down. Patiently waits and throws incomplete. Carnell Lake on Patrick Jeffers, and now a late flag.
This was thrown by the back judge, and I'm talking about way downfield.
You know what, though? What always alerts me right away, and I don't know if he interfered or not because I couldn't see, but Carnell Lake, as soon as the ball was thrown and went by him, he raised his hands up. And
that tells you he did it.
Well, that makes me
illegal
wonder.
Contact on the defense, number 37. 5-yard penalty, automatic first down.
See, that's not pass interference. If it's pass interference, is that where the ball is to be caught?
Look down at the bottom of the screen.
Well, they're booing that because there's, you know, even on the scoreboard up here, they're seeing the end of it. But it was a holding call. You can't grab the guy.
So the first down extends the drive for Denver at the 43. 8 minutes, 45 seconds left, and Elway guns a long bomb for Smith. Incomplete off the fingertips at the 12-yard line. And does he, in the last 3-4 steps, break away from defenders? We've seen it all day. They seem to have him well covered. And look at this.
Well, you know, from up here, it looks like there's no way he can get to this ball. Not from what you're seeing, but from what we see. And it looks like, and all of a sudden, he just outruns the football and almost made the grab.
How many of those have we seen today where the ball is in the receiver's hands, but they can't quite come up with the catch? Elway this time, well, he goes, well, I've seen it all day. He didn't get too excited about it.
Second down 10. 28-24, Pittsburgh leads. Incomplete through the hands of Shannon Sharp. And another ball not pulled in. So Elway has really been bedeviled by his own receivers.
Well, I'll tell you, Shannon Sharp could just feel Kirkland coming. Watch Levon Kirkland, number 79. You could feel this guy coming, and he also just let him know you're there.
Well, you know the old saying, you're going to get hit anyway, catch it. Kirkland.
That's a linebacker, folks. That's not a defensive lineman.
The good Reverend Dr. Kirk.
They call him captain, too.
3rd and 10, Elway. Throws quickly and complete, just shy of a first down to Patrick Jeffers. Chad Scott all over him, makes the play. And let's see where they spot. The Steelers think it's been too generous a spot.
It is, Dick. It really is. If they mark that ball at that line, this is too close.
At the 47-yard line.
Well, it's a blitz by the the Steeler defense. I don't even know how John Elway gets the ball off, but throws it perfectly inside for Jeffers. Good coverage by Chad Scott, but the ball is to the body of the receiver where he can't make a play on it.
It's a first down. I believe the official ruled that on the tackle that Jeffers' knee didn't go down, that he actually rolled him forward the extra yard.
Watch Elway. Chris Odom coming free. Well, doesn't really deliver a real big blow, but still, John Elway sees him coming, stands nice and calm, and throws the ball where he has to.
I'll tell you, he ought to go after the game and thank Chris Odom, because Chris Odom could have put him back in next week sometime. He really did let up on the play. That was really a nice play by Odom.
This intense game, this intense week, and the drama high with 8:09 left in the fourth. First down to Davis. And Davis again. What little he gains is hard-earned. A couple yards. Earl Holmes and the Steeler defense there ready for him. Davis with only 71 yards rushing today.
All right, we're going to see the end of this thing where Jeffers, where he rolls. Is he on the ground? Here is the catch, and watch where he hits. The ball is here. Now, is he down yet? The knee is down. I'm going to tell you what. They gave him an extra yard on this play. This was a terrible spot for Pittsburgh. Or a great spot for Denver.
There you go.
I got it.
Second down and 8. Elway scrambles. And Elway dives for a first down inside the Steeler 35-yard line. And at 37 years of age, Elway over 200 yards rushing again this season.
All right, Phil, no place to go. But you know what's interesting on the end of this play? Elway doesn't slide, folks. Watch this. He goes head first. Look where he hits, and look where they mark the ball. Because he is not down, he's not touched. Watch this. The ball hits there. Now watch where the mark is. It's right there is where they mark the ball.
That's right. Head first. You got to touch him for him to be down.
The 31-yard line, 14 on the play. Davis. And they can't spring Terrell Davis. The Steeler defense has been tough all day. Nolan Harrison this time got to him first with Earl Holmes in on another tackle. 75 yards for Davis today. He's been held under 100 only 3 times all year. 79 Atlanta allowed, then the Raiders 85 and Raiders 69 had his number in both games.
Yeah, the Raiders, the worst in the league, stopping the run, but they do it to Terrell Davis twice.
The best rusher in the league. Second down and 6. Elway dumps it off to Terrell Davis. And he's tackled immediately at the 27-yard line by Kevin Henry.
Well, there's a guy you're talking about, that Kevin Henry. What a year he is having. Even Bill Cowher said about it. Jim Haslett?
No touchdowns allowed in the last 5 games in the final quarter. 28-24. Time ticking away. 5:35 left. 3rd and 6.
4-down territory.
No.
Yes.
Blitz by Lake. They pick it up. And now Elway in trouble. Lake on the second effort with a sack.
Now it may be 4-down territory.
Oh, no, it's not.
No. 2 sacks by the Steelers, both by Lake, who now has 5 in the last 2 games.
Well, that's a credit to the coverage down the field. John Elway avoids the blitz at first, looks down the field, nobody open, has to hold the ball. Carnell Lake gets the sack.
Oh, a long field goal attempt, 53 yards by Jason Elam. That's his longest of the year.
No good.
Not even close. Steelers lead remains 4.
Carnell Lake up top, comes on the blitz. Elway steps up. Terrell Davis gets a piece of him, pushes him behind. McCarnell Lake says, comes back to me.
Here's this ball. Does it get down? Rowan does really. He gets it down, just never hits it.
John Elway, the master of drives late in the game, hopes he gets another chance. But his team missing a field goal has presented the Steelers with great field position at the 43. Stewart brings Johnson in motion. Tosses to Bettis. He turns upfield and crushes to the 49, a gain of 6. A look now at our Miller Lite game summary. Elway held under 50%, couple of touchdowns, and Cordell Stewart having a banner day, 3 touchdown passes and a rushing touchdown, total of 4. Elway, receivers unkind, the unexpected, at least 7 drop passes, perhaps more. Kansas City has finished the work against Oakland, a 30-0 shutout. So a loss by the Broncos would move them back into a tie with Kansas City. Second down. Bettis stopped at the 49. It'll be 3rd and 2. Keith Traylor making the tackle.
You know, Dick, a minute ago we talked about it. I thought it was a pretty tough decision. Mike Shanahan kicking the long field goal into a little bit of a breeze, 53 yards. I thought in that situation you punt, try to get the Steelers back and go for one last final drive. Now you've given up field position again. When you get it back, you're going to be backed up and you're going to have a long drive.
It is, because even if the Steelers don't make this first down, if they punt, they're going to make you at least go 80.
And if they make the first down, they're going to chew up more clock. It's down under 3.5 minutes. 3rd and 2. Offside Denver.
You got the first down anyway.
Play, and George Jones has the first down inside the 45 to the 42. Neil Smith looked as if he lurched offside.
Well, they'll take the play on this because they'll get 1 yard more on the play than they would on the other. Or 2 yards more.
And now the clock management is crucial. Denver has its 3 timeouts left.
Offsides on the defense, number 93. Penalties decline. First down.
They call it on Traylor. Appeared to be Neil Smith who bumped offside.
Right on the top side. There's offside. That's Neil Smith.
The Steelers do such a good job on 3rd down. They're the best in the National Football League at picking up 3rd downs. And that was a good example. You think they're going to throw, Cordell's going to run. They do a toss to the outside, pick up 5 or 6 yards.
Bettis gets a yard when most backs would have lost 1.
Yeah, but Steve Atwater is on a blitz, and he's the guy that came in and just jammed it up in the middle. Might not have made the tackle, but number 27 made the play.
Denver uses one of those timeouts. 3:13 remains. Welcome back. 28-24 the Steelers with only 3 minutes 13 seconds left, and it's 2nd and 9 for Pittsburgh. Terrell Davis on the sideline, 75 yards today, leading the league, 1,722. Bettis has outrushed him, 119 for the bus, who moves up close to Barry Sanders, who plays in Miami tonight. Stewart rolling, looking, gonna run it. And hit out of bounds at the 38-yard line. Bill Romanowski made the tackle. As the ticker goes through, some significant playoff news goes with the results. Kansas City now has assured a playoff spot with their 11th win, impressively over the dying Raiders. And Green Bay, with that win at Tampa Bay, clinches the Central NFC and a bye, first-round bye in the playoffs. Big win for the Packers.
Yeah, it's too cold to go anywhere though up there.
Jacksonville not out of it yet, down only 6 to New England as they try to keep pace with these Steelers. New England in that 3-way tie in the AFC East. Giants, that's big, at Philadelphia.
They do something. They're doing something I can never do, is win a game in Philly.
I'll tell you what, they are really playing some strong defense, the Giants. and getting enough offense to win football games.
Baltimore, well, they score every week, don't they? They're going to put up some points.
They're the new version of the San Diego back in the early 80s. They score a lot of points, but they give up a lot of them, too.
So it comes down with 3:02. Denver's second timeout, stopping the clock. And now a very important 3rd down and 6.
The last play was important. Bill Romanowski kept containment on Cordell Stewart. That's what you have to do if you're an outside rusher. Don't let him get out of the pocket.
The toss to Jones on the sweep left. And he's met. Charges forward to the 34-yard line where it's going to be 4th and 2. Darius Johnson makes the tackle.
Now what do? Do you go for it on 4th down? You punt it, or do you kick a field goal for the Pittsburgh Steelers?
What do you think?
You punt the ball. I really think you punt the ball for the simple reason is just put it back as far as they can go.
Alfred Williams is the injured Bronco. Been playing with tricep injuries on both arms. First one and last week the other. So we'll take a break here. 2:51 remains. Steelers by 4. With our director John Gonzalez, producer Tommy Roy, welcome back to Pittsburgh. Alfred Williams helped off the field. And a big decision here for Bill Cowher on 4th down and 2 at just inside the 34 of Denver. You punt it, try to pin Denver deep with no timeouts, or with the 1 timeout and the 2-minute warning, and see if they can drive the length of the field for a touchdown. Or do you go for it here and try to win the game right now?
I think you punt the ball, and even though the ball is on the 34-yard line, obviously they're not going to do that, or wait for them to go offside a long count.
That's what they could do, yeah.
But I mean, to give Elway this much room.
But Bill Cowher trying to prove something here. Said we've got to take care of the doubters this week, was his theme throughout practices. And on 4th and 2, he's going to try to win it right here.
Could he try the shovel pass one more time? A nice safe play.
It's an option. He's got it easily. He's got more than that. All the way to the 17.
It only makes sense to run a play like that, give your quarterback a couple options, and make the defense react to you so they can't attack you. And that's what that play does.
What that play did, watch Neil Smith, number 90. They catch him right, watch this. He can't go anywhere. He goes inside to take the runner. There's nobody to the outside to take Cordell. Mobley is the linebacker that has to be out there to make the play. They don't do it, and Cordell Stewart, this game is over.
Timeout call, Denver.
Oh, Bill Cowher.
I wonder if he's ever hit anybody with that chin.
Hold on to the ball, he says, with 2:17 to go.
You think he's ever hit anybody with that chin when he played? That could be a weapon.
Well, the jaw had some success. Don Shula, maybe this is the year of the chin. Well, he loves Cordell Stewart. I mean, the confidence that exudes when Cowher talks about this young man just because of plays like that.
Well, and they do a good job of playing to his strengths, and I don't think there's many coaches around the league, and I give Chan Gailey, the offensive coordinator, a lot of credit too, and Bill Cowher, that could handle a situation like this and handle a Cordell Stewart and do such a good job with him.
You know, talking to Bill Cowher yesterday, and what he said to us, and it's no difference to any of his other teams, but he says this is really the closest team I've ever had.
Yeah.
He said it may not be the best team I've ever had, but this is the closest. He said, I've got nothing but leaders on this football team.
But the two kind of usually go together.
Yeah, they do.
If you're really, really close, it'll probably turn out to be his best team.
Well, first down from the 15. Bettis barreling, 6 more to the 9. Tyrone Braxton finally got him down. And that'll take this game to the 2-minute warning. Bill Cowher's Steelers looking for win number 10, driven by this 40-year-old headmaster. They're on their feet and roaring here for 2 reasons. The Steelers lead, and the score has just been announced that New England has defeated Jacksonville 26-20. So a win moves Pittsburgh into sole possession of the Central Division. It's 2nd down and 4 at the 9-yard line of the Broncos. 2 minutes to go, and Denver with only 1 timeout. Check that, no timeouts now. They have used all 3. Current drive, 8 straight rushes for 48 yards. Stewart with a key 4th down rush, but it's Bettis the workhorse. He'll get it again. Stewart, touchdown! That was such a wonderful sequence of television shots. You had the remarkable Cowher, a special teams player when he was in the NFL, wild with emotion, and hired by the placid, calm Dan Rooney. A Rooney smile is like cartwheeling the 100 yards of the stadium here at Three Rivers. Cordell Stewart, a 5-touchdown game, 3 passes and 2 runs for this incredibly talented young man.
Well, it is a little quarterback sneak with the defensive line taking chances, trying to get to the backfield, make a play. Nobody there to look after the quarterback. And
just like I was saying, I just assumed Bettis would get the ball, and so did the Broncos.
And here comes Bill. Watch out.
Watch out, he might want to kiss you.
That's it. Don't let him kiss you, but that's okay. I mean, I think it's pretty exciting and extraordinary, really, that the head coach just lets his emotions go, and just lives along with the players and enjoys it.
There's the owner, Dan Rooney. That's big emotion from him.
I'll tell you, every one of these guys in this team, when you talk to them about Bill Cowher, the first thing they do is smile because they know that he's into the game with them.
Well, the Steelers down 21-7 in the first half have come back to take a commanding lead, 35-24. Hebron on the kickoff and gets it out to the 24-yard line with 1:51 left and time for another update.
All right, Dick, and there's more good news for Steeler fans from Jacksonville. 26-20 New England, last play of the game. Mark Brunell launches from about his own 30-yard line. This one will come down between the goal line and the 5, and it is batted down. That's how it ends. New England breaks the Jaguars' 13-game home winning streak, and the Patriots host the Pittsburgh Steelers next Saturday here on NBC. Dick?
That's going to be another terrific game next Saturday. Late game, 3:30. It'll all begin. These Steelers at New England. Elway, a little screen to Terrell Davis. Davis heads for the sidelines and is assisted by Darren Perry. No, they're going to say wind the clock, that he made contact, but they stopped the play.
They say stopped his forward progress in the field of play, pushed him back. Clock does not stop.
129, 128 is Jason Gilden assisting the head linesman, trying to get the ball respotted after one of the Steelers accidentally kicked it. No flag as Elway throws over the middle, incomplete to Jeffers. So with the injury to Ed McCaffrey, Patrick Jeffers seeing more duty than he has all year. McCaffrey caught 40 balls this year. Hamstring injury, unable to start today. In fact, did not suit up.
Another drop ball.
I thought maybe the Denver Broncos, their defense, had kind of fixed some of its problems. I thought up front they've gotten a little stronger. They could maybe stand in there against a powerful team. But as we saw today, as time goes on, a big, powerful running team is just going to start wearing out a smaller defense.
Elway throws. Incomplete to Sharp. Elway very close to passing the line of scrimmage, but saw the yardsticks and then tried to feed it to his tight end, who's had a quiet day, Shannon Sharp.
Yeah, he has. But, you know, when you're talking about this Pittsburgh Steelers offense, you talk about Bettis and Cordell. But the one thing that you mentioned right at the beginning of this game, Phil, is the offensive line. This offensive line lines up. They're really not a hidden agenda with these guys. They kind of let you know exactly what they're going to do, and they get the job done. Yes, you do have that big guy banging in the back of you, Bettis. But I'll tell you what, this offensive line does a great job for this team.
4th and 6. This crowd at Three Rivers ready to celebrate if Elway doesn't convert. He doesn't. The Steelers take over on downs.
Well, Elway does the right thing in that last drive. Don't get hurt.
That's true.
That's it. You know, they're blitzing. The game is over. His main objective is just to, if they give you a chance, take it, but don't put your body at risk because you got to play for the next couple of games in the playoffs.
But this game did live up to everything we thought it was going to be. We thought it was going to be a great football game, and that it was.
Well, the Steelers have clinched their playoff spot. They go to New England next Saturday and then to Tennessee. This is their last home game of the regular season. And for Denver, it doesn't get easier. They have to go to San Francisco next Sunday and then home against San Diego in the finale. And it's the first time that the Broncos will look up at the scoreboard and say, boy, we just barely lost. The other 2 defeats by 2 and by 3 points to Kansas City and Oakland. Kneel down by Stewart.
In a game like this, when you look at the film, there's a lot of if we'd have. If we'd have done this and if we'd have done that.
Well, you know what? I don't think so. I believe you look at the film and you go, man, they were just stronger than we were today. That was my sensation watching the game. The Steelers were bigger and stronger, and that's why they won.
Yeah, but don't you think Denver up 21-7? I mean, they had a chance to maybe put this team away and didn't do it.
There were some dropped passes.
Dropped passes, but Denver, to control the game, had to gamble on defense up front. They lost the battle outside. That's where they thought maybe they had a chance. The passing game beat the Denver Broncos, opened up the running game.
Cordell Stewart with the final play of the game. And that'll be a football that, well, Jerome Bettis was able to rip it away from Stewart. And Bettis runs to the sidelines, going to give it to someone. I think Cordell wanted that one for his dad. 2 outstanding teams. 2 teams will be in the playoffs. 2 teams, like so many in the league, capable of going a long way once they get there. Let's go to Jim Gray.
All right, thank you very much, Dick. Cordell Stewart getting congratulated by the Broncos. Congratulations, you're in the playoffs. You're down 21-7. What went on over on the sidelines? Because you're playing against what came into the game as the best team in the AFC.
Well, you know, I just went to the sideline and I saw the way things were going. I was looking at the coverages and, you know, there's a few things that I should have completed that I didn't. I mean,
well, you saw something with Darian Gordon. What was it?
And then I just talked to Chan on the phone. I said, let's run a certain route. And it started happening. And the more we ran, the more we wound up completing them. And it's just a matter of just taking our time, moving the ball down the field, and just scoring some touchdowns. And we wound up scoring some touchdowns to win the game.
How did you find your composure? Because Bill Cowher said there's got to be a way. We will find a way. How did he calm you down?
Well, you know, it was just the thing I had to deal with. It wasn't the coaches telling me just to go out and relax. I mean, because they tell me that every week. It was just a matter of me basically going out, relaxing, having fun, enjoying myself, knowing what was going on, and just because all practice, you know, things went well all practice, and it was just a matter of taking what I did at practice and applying it to the game today.
You have kind of reinvented the quarterback sneak. It used to be a guy just kind of took it and fell down for a yard. Tell us about the last couple of quarterback sneaks and the touchdown.
Well, I tell you, I can't remember the other one because the touchdown stands out more than anything, but I can remember Coach Malarkey, the tight ends coach, saying, you may go for a touchdown. And I'm sitting there saying to myself, yeah, right. And everybody saying, don't go over the top, make sure you keep your balance. And when I went in there, they had the left guard over to the left, and the linebacker was head up. The mighty hit him, and it was covered 2. And I said, oh, my goodness, I may score, so I need to hold on to the rock.
Congratulations, Cordell. I know you have a lot of fans back in Colorado, and you showed them something other than a Buffalo uniform today.
Yes, I did. I like to say hi to everybody back at, I guess I can say home in Colorado and also in New Orleans. And sorry we beat the Broncos, but, hey, we had to do it.
We'll see you next week in New England. All right, Dick, let's send it back upstairs to you.
All right, Jim. Great job. Well, the Steelers defeat the Broncos, and Jerome Bettis, well, when you have all those people riding the bus, sometimes you get a refund. And that might have been Jerome's mother. It is his mother, we understand, from Detroit. She raised a family of bowlers. They're all outstanding on the lanes, but this guy, he just bowls over humans.